Hello everybody. Sorry, for some reason my microphone and audio device and everything was not working. So I quickly had to jump into the options and check what I can do there. So how was everybody's weekend? Welcome to this Monday stream. Unless you have questions, nice to see everybody in the chat. A lot of you here. Unless you have questions, I'm just gonna finish this March of Robots one. And the prompt for today was tool. And I did start on a robot here with like different multiple arms. So he would be like a very handy robot in the workspace, like using different tools, but the girlfriend was not satisfied with it. She always wants me to do something more creative, so I decided to draw a different kind of tool. So I hope you guys can recognize this tool. I just want to adjust the hair a little bit. It was not ridiculous enough. So that's what's gonna happen now. But yeah, feel free to ask away. I did call it an AMA. It's not necessarily an AMA, but it's mostly like whatever you feel like asking. I'll try my best to answer it. It's a political statement right away. So, well, I mean, it's not about liking him or disliking him or what he did or didn't do. Like, I think everybody can agree that he's sort of a bit of a jerk, irregardless if you like his policies or not. It's just, I really don't get it why people like him other than if you're trolling. Trolling is fine, I at least understand that. But otherwise, it's just, he's a bit of a jackass. So yeah. We're not jumping on politics, man. Also, I don't know. I don't count it politics since I'm not from the States. So for me, it's mostly entertainment. Let me turn up the music a little bit, and you guys tell me if it's too loud. You didn't know I was a Republican? Of course I'm a Republican. No, it's actually funny because I come from Eastern Europe, right? And compared to Eastern European politics, I'm very like bleeding heart liberal. But here in the Netherlands, I'm more center, sometimes also a little bit right with some of my opinions. Not really, I would say center left. But yeah, compared to where I come from, I would count as a bleeding heart liberal. Yeah, there we go. I like this better. I don't know what this hair, because since he's a robot, I don't think he has hair, but whatever. Just a bit of fun here. What's your pen model? I don't know, the one that comes with a Cintiq 13? Old one, I guess. Do you use Autodesk Sketch app? This is Autodesk Sketchbook. Not sure if Autodesk Sketch app is something different. So I wanted to make something funny with his hands, but nothing really came to mind. So if you guys have any ideas, I'll do that. Let's see. What did you study for college, or where did you learn to draw like that? I didn't learn to draw from college, but I did study industrial design, where I took 2 semesters of drawing. It was obligatory, and it definitely helped my sketching. But I was drawing way before that, and yeah, after that as well, I guess. The hair could be a hammer. I mean, I feel like you do need to do the big wig crazy hair to keep it resembling. Thank you, Emir. He has tiny hands, but he already posed it, man. What about him holding his... Nah. I was thinking maybe just since we're going on politics, I do like the small hands. So let's just... I'm just gonna do small fingers. It's a bit too small. It's funny because you wanna go too small, but it does lose a little bit of the character if you go a little bit too small. But I was thinking, let's see. Yeah, that's better. Like this size. And I was thinking he would hold a flag. And because he always says China, I wanted him to hold the Chinese flag, but it could be just a MAGA or something. Just number 1. I think that's good. I think number 1 will do nice. A shovel to build the wall. I like that. Bag of money, I like it as well. People from where I live loved him in the beginning, but under his rule we had a lot of problems because we depend on export, and without it, countries... Yeah. I mean, I found it funny when he was elected, because it was just like nobody saw it coming, and a lot of the establishment politicians were so sure about themselves, so I found it's a funny meme that he got elected. But yeah, I had no doubts that he's mostly a lot of talk and not really a lot of doing. But yeah, I mean, in general, politics are just... I mean, that's the sad part about it, that it seems very hard for people just to sit down and talk to each other these days. That should be, you should always be open to just talk to somebody. I like the shovel and the wall. I think that was really good, Manuel. Okay, let me add a new layer. So let's do the shovel. One-handed jackhammer to hammer the Democrats. The drill to screw the little people with. Oh man, I love that. I love that. I mean, you need this sentence. You need the whole sentence for it to be as funny. Like if I just draw a jackhammer and the drill, it won't be as funny as you just explained it there. Oh man, that's great. You made my night with that one, Rue. Thank you. Oh man, it's all about fun. But yeah, I thought I'll finish Mr. Tool here, and then we can go maybe a little bit learning some things. Let's see what we can do. Okay. I can merge this down. Okay, and then maybe a small wall behind him. That's not really the best wall. I've drawn better walls than that. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. That is already better. There we go. Andres Marufo, what do you recommend to have as background, like basic of drawing or being able to draw perspectives? Handling a certain program if I want to study the career in design. What do you recommend to have as background? Basics of drawing or being able to draw. If you want to study design. Well, the thing is, you have to be a bit more clear about what you want to study in design or what sort of design you want to study, because when you just say I want to study design, that's extremely vague. Like, you can study so many. Design can be industrial design, it can be graphic design, it can be fabrics, it can be game design. There's many things. Design is not design. So you have to watch out when you say it. You have to specify what sort of design you want to study. Like, even for industrial design, drawing is just a small tool. It's not the whole thing. Like, there's so many things you have to learn actually that have nothing to do with drawing. So yeah, as soon as you know what sort of design you want to study, I think that's already a big step for you. For example, in industrial design, there were a lot of kids who never drew before and they didn't like drawing necessarily. So they just concentrated purely on 3D and CAD applications. Miguel can, wait. These days it's hard to people to sit down and talk. This is like the last 500 years. Yeah, exactly. Advice for graduating industrial design students. Okay, Miguel, what sort of advice would you like? Do internships before you graduate. Make sure that you did a couple of internships. Like, that's the best thing you can do. Like, the best thing I could have done and I did is just do as many internships as you can. And obviously do a good job. The whole thing is like, you sort of, one is two things. One, you sort of have your foot in the company, right? So you have the door and you sort of push your foot in there. But two, you also build yourself a network. So if you do a couple of internships, you start knowing people who work at the companies. And you have to collaborate with other people. You have to collaborate with other people from other companies. So you start growing this bigger network for yourself. And once you're out there, if you need a job, you can approach so many people, and they also know you. And if you did a good job, they will also think of you. So that's quite important. That's my main advice. Where from people know he was going to win? It was weird. I asked for a lot of people, why do you think so? Almost all of them I heard is famous. Yeah, famous shouldn't get somebody elected. Mexicans and letters, I like that. Or so like no essay. You won't pay. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, aren't I? Industrial design, Andres. Yeah, I hope the advice did help you. Danish Ali. What about the shadows in this painting, sir? Is it important digital painting? Or the shadow is important in everything if you want to put shadows. But I like to do line work. Like, okay, we can talk a little bit about shadows here. So like, if we have light somewhere up here, so then areas like this, I'm just gonna use a little bit of cross-hatching for areas that should be in shadows. Like, this can be all in dark, because there we go. Technically there's darkness, and then this is also all cross-hatched. This area is cross-hatched. The underarms usually are cross-hatched, so I'm gonna do a little bit like this. Also the belly area here. I feel like I could have detailed this a little bit more at the belly. So let us do that while I'm at it. Do you have the music you listen to on Spotify too? No, actually it's I need to get more of these. So this is the music that I paid for a year-long subscription, so I can utilize copyright-free music, so I don't get claimed for it anymore. So I can tell you what I'm listening to if you want to know at the moment. If I knew how to. There we go, like that. Closer than ever. Ah, great. I just lost it. Oh, sorry, man. Okay, I'll look it up for you later, okay, Radici? Okay, I'll look it up now, because I forgot otherwise. Can I go back, actually? So, here. It was mostly me, closer than I've ever been. There you go. That was the song. Oh yeah. Back to the adding some shading to it. Well, technically we can also do this. I'm just gonna make a new layer, and I'm gonna do the comics or Copic. So these are, if you go, I think you can download the Copic or in the standard one here. So you have Copic markers. So I just took these two and dragged them over there into my personalized thing. I'm gonna open not this but the Copic colors, and then we just go to design and we go to cool grays, and I take a C2, and let's see. So this area should be sort of in shadow, so I just go in, and usually you can't erase. Oh no, where's it? You can't erase, but this time, oh, that's not the eraser. My bad. This time I'm just gonna erase areas that I find that they don't need to be there. Let me take a thinner one. So this underlip obviously is a bit in shadow. Then here you always have a little bit of shadow, and also under the nose. So these are just big surfaces that for sure that are in shadow. Okay, maybe so. Actually I can go to C3. Yeah. So under the eyelids, there's shadow, of course. Or not eyelids, eyebrows, yeah. You can add a little shadow under the hair as well, because, especially in this case, because it's a silly big hair, there's definitely some shadow gathering, and then the underside of the hair. This area could catch a bit of a shadow as well, and the inside of the ear. Here you can, let me go to the eraser. I'm going to erase a little bit from the earlobe, and I'm going to add a little bit just there. Okay, I'm going to go to a C5 just to have some, well no, C4, C3. I'm back to C3, guys. Just the areas that I marked before, so like these breastplates and also the shadow. Then I can make these a bit darker as well, this neck area. I'll come back with the darker. So I always like to start with a light shadow and just go back with darkers later. Let me see if there's any other questions. Meanwhile, are you good in CATIA and SolidWorks? I was good in SolidWorks, proficient in CATIA, not fantastically good. But the thing is, I haven't used it in a while, since I am not really doing industrial design. But I do use Fusion 360 because it's a free app. And CATIA and SolidWorks are extremely expensive if you're not a student and using it with a student license. Okay, I'm gonna switch to C5. So the legs can be quite a bit darker. And then also you can work in on the underbelly a little bit. And then now you can also do a little bit of this neck area. There we go. You should download the crosshatch brushes. I think I have some. Let me see. I have texture, splatter, Inktober, colorless, acrylics. There we go, crosshatch brushes. I don't really use them. I mean, okay, you can take a crosshatch brush. Okay, let me make it dark. And it has sort of it's a bit too digital, and usually I'm the person who likes digital, but for my taste it's a bit too digital. I mean, this is also nice. It's basically what I did there, but you can also see there's a seam there, so you can see this as well, right? Oh, zoom in. It's just, I don't know. It's not my fancy. You can use them if you want to do something fast. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Okay, back to our C3. Where else will we have some shadows? So these under the eyes, these bags. Oh, it's time for a micro break. All right, watch me stretch a little bit, just for 10 seconds. Oh, there we go. That's nice. A little bit of. Oh, that hurts. Miguel Canlas, can I see your portfolio? Yes. I have links on my YouTube to my Instagram and my ArtStation. Other than that, I have no portfolio. Because I don't work where I need a portfolio. So in general, I just don't keep one. Here we could have a little bit as well. There we go. But you can come in with us something like C1, just to have a nicer lap over. Was that a word? Overlap, that's a word. Lap over is not a word. Because you don't want to have a fully white Mr. Trump there. You can just touch areas where you think there should be a bit of shadow. It will just feel a little bit more natural if we have more than just that pure white. And I also got that, okay, let me go to C2. Like this side of the face can be darker in general. There we go. We jumped from politics to ASMR, we're in the good. Tips for getting a job in industrial design. I don't know, man, it's hard. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's not easy. That's why I told, I think Miguel was asking, or I'm not sure who was asking, who's an tips for industrial design. That's why it's important to do, what did I say, internships. Because at least you already have a foot in, and the people from the company you work in get to know how you work. And if they like how you work, as soon as there's an opening, they're like, oh wait, there was that kid who did his internship here. Why don't we call him back? Because it's also better for them, because they have to pay you less. So you will be sort of like an entry level worker, so they can pay you relatively low, but they don't have to spend time on teaching you how the company works, because you've been there for already, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, depending how long your internship went. So it's usually a win-win for the company to keep interns who are good. I'm not talking now about these weird times with Corona and everything. Oh, demonetized. I meant the beer, guys. Please don't demonetize me. No, but especially during these weird times, yeah, I don't know what applies and what doesn't. But in general, it's really good to do those internships. And also, I'm not talking from American perspective, because here in Europe you get paid for your internships, and I don't know how the American system works with sometimes not paying interns and they're just doing shit work. I'm not the biggest fan of that. You should get some sort of reward for your hard work, is what I feel is fair. But yeah, it's not easy lately. Other tips for industrial design is, like, I don't know if you're in university or not at the moment, but in general, you're never gonna do in your life what you're doing in university if you're just studying general industrial design. And that's because in industrial design you study a little bit of everything. And it's going to be very hard to do that in real life, because you're going to either going to specialize on something, or if you want to do as much as possible, you have to work at a design agency. And even there you can easily fall into the role of, okay, this is the guy who does all the renders, this is the guy who's good with math and can do the calculations for us, this is the guy who's really good with CAD applications. Or you go the other way around, where you're going to be the guy who's always client facing, or the person who brings in the new clients, or the person, like you have to have a lot of, and you do design sprints, whatever methods you use to communicate with your client to get the information out of him. You can be the person who just does that, so you're gonna be on the concepting and all the time, just getting the information out of the client, what he wants, what he needs, and he doesn't know yet what he wants. What is your dream job or end goal? For me, that's a good question. I ask myself that, and it usually changes quite a bit. So right now what I do, as many of you know, is a lot of business drawing. But there's also a lot of very interesting things where I collaborate with a WWF, so helping animals or helping the companies who help animals, NGOs. And it always feels nice to be able to help communicate with my drawings. I would like to work again on games. I did, as some of you know, I did an internship for games, and that was fun. But I would like to work for smaller indie companies. It's just you have to find, like, I feel like I would need to find the right partners for that, because I'm just too lazy to start something up by myself. And yeah, I just love teaching. I'd love to, and I don't just want to do industrial design. I love my art, so I would love to get better in art and get better at teaching people in general, and just grow this channel more. Stuff like that, I guess. I'm not really good. I really love living. At the moment, I do a lot of living in the moment. I don't think too much about what I want to achieve, because I'm pretty happy where I am, to be honest. Okay. Why you use Sketchbook instead of Photoshop? Yeah, I have this question quite often, because Sketchbook is free and everybody can get Sketchbook. For client work, I do use Photoshop quite a bit, because especially the coloring part, I prefer Photoshop for it, but Photoshop is not cheap. So yeah, that's why. I want to be, if I do something here and you have questions, I can quickly show it in Sketchbook, and everybody can sort of do it. That's the main reason why I like using Sketchbook. I mean, if I do have quite a couple of streams where I use Photoshop as well, but then I always have people asking me why I use Photoshop and not applications that other people use as well. And I do have Krita, but I was already working in this. It's just very comfortable for me, and I stuck with this. I study in design, kind of related to automotive design. Industrial design, yeah. What advice do you have for me, considering that I want to move to Germany? What CAD software should I... Oh, CAD software, I mean, you learn one, you will know them all. Like I studied, when I was doing my bachelor's, it was also industrial design. It was industrial and economical design, technically. And we were studying Inventor. Inventor belongs to Autodesk, the same guys who do Fusion 360 now. And when I came to the Netherlands to do my master's, everybody was using SolidWorks, so I switched to SolidWorks. Then when I did my master's graduation, whatever that's called, I did in Germany, and there they were using CATIA, so I just switched to CATIA. They're really so close to each other that I don't think there's a huge difference between all these. You can transition very quickly, so I wouldn't worry about what you study. Just study whatever easiest for you at hand, and if needed you can easily switch to another CAD application. I struggle to draw mechanical details in gaps on mechs, like wires, pipes. Yes, do studies of mechanical stuff. I mean, okay, let me see. Let's see. So Pinterest is my go-to stuff. I'm gonna say mechanical details. Boom, there you go. A million details from actual things, from sci-fi applications. So for example, what I would do is, let's take this one. I think this is a helicopter, right? Yeah, helicopter rotor, exactly. And no, okay. Well, I'm just gonna copy this picture then. Copy image. Let's just paste it in here. Okay, I'll take a break in the meantime. Oh. Yeah, as you get older, you need to do more movement because you can mess up your back quickly. Okay, so we copied that image, right? I'm just gonna paste it in, make it a little bit bigger. Switch to a sketching brush. Okay, I don't need the Copics right now. So what can you like? I would like look at things. Okay, let me add a red one just so we know what we're doing. So this is an interesting detail. This is an interesting detail. Technically, this whole thing here is interesting. I like this as well. So I'm just gonna concentrate on these things. I'm gonna go to black now. Let's start here. So we have something like, I'm gonna draw it from a different perspective just so you see that it's not important where you draw it from. And I'm just gonna get inspired by this. So I see sort of, this is the thickness, what I'm drawing here now. Right, we have a thickness here, and then it goes into this here. I could also bring down the opacity just a little bit so I can draw over this area. So I'm going for this one now. So this is somewhere here, and then we have this cutout here in the middle. Ooh, that's not an eraser. This is the eraser, okay. And it also goes a little bit lower here. So something like this, and then it goes down to there. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I know that, okay, so technically here we will have some sort of joint that comes there, and I could make, so it's not rounded, it has sort of this shape, so I'm just gonna do the same shape there, here as well, and then I know this is sort of cut off there, and it goes in there. And then I add a little bit of cross hatching because that area is in shadow. And sort of this is how quickly you have an interesting joint that you can connect. Obviously there would be sort of, I just like to add an axis so we know that we're going to pivot around that. And technically this should be lower and this should be higher, because otherwise the axis makes no sense. So I want to make sure to emphasize that a little bit there. And then this is also really cool here, as you can see. So I'm just gonna add a smaller ellipse and one on top of it. And as you can see, there's like cutouts. So I'm gonna do these cutouts also on top. Then just connect them. And these are where we have, well no, technically it's a little bit lower as well. Let me just, because we have an eraser, so we can use it. There we go, and then this is where we have our rivets or screws or whatever they are. Alright, and then I can clear these double lines here as well because I don't need them. And just to make it a bit clearer, you can add a little bit of this fadeaway sort of cross-hatching that just gives it a little bit of shape, right? And zoom out again, and then from here you just continue whatever you want. Obviously this would be sort of a cylinder as well. There you go. So you already, this is a little detail for if you're doing, if you want to do jointing. But because I just remembered I'm doing something wrong, because you were asking in the gaps. Well, the gaps are full of things like these. You have a lot of also this where you have these sort of joints. So we have this joint here, but we also, what's really cool is that it has different sort of thicknesses and thinnesses, so you can vary that quite a bit. So you have a lot of interesting detail happening there already, and then you have a thick one towards the end again, and then it goes like really thin, well, not that thin obviously, and it turns into sort of like this, and it's within this cool sort of socket, which also becomes a little bit thicker down there. Something like that. So, and there's also a lot of cableage information. So let's say we just have a robot with a torso, a very simple torso. And this is sort of the hip area, and this would be the chest, and there's the head. Then you can say, okay, what's interesting for me from here, like this, I would take, like, you have 1 and 2 of these pistons, then you can have quite a couple of these, like 1, 2, 3 wires running down, and you can make sure that some area here is like super stiff, and then it becomes much looser, and then you repeat that on the other side as well. Obviously we need to put in a bit more effort in what I'm doing here. Look, I like this area as well. Technically here it should be movable, but you can put this maybe here to the back. So we have this, and then 1, 2, 3. So you have this really strong area there. So there's a lot of info that you can take from very simple images. Stretch, puppy, stretch. Yeah, stretching is important. The Mexican board should say something like, no manches, we won't pay. Hey Mona Ali, and hey AVC 2032. But to answer some, Him Patel says, I'm a mechanical engineering, but I like to sketch. How can I start? Yeah, as I said, just you go back to what was this? You go back to Pinterest, take the first thing that you see, and just draw it. If it's Ian McHugh, you draw Ian McHugh. If it's like mechanical details, you draw mechanical details. Let's take this one. So for example, I just see this. Let's paste it in. And I can move all of this a little bit. Over there, this we don't need anymore. So here, this could be like the body of something. So you can start by copying what you see there. So it's a 5-star sort of whatever. And then you have, I'm gonna just try and connect these. But these have also a thickness, so I'm gonna give a thickness to them. Something like that. And like these, I like these 4 legs, or they don't have to be legs. Like this could be like, right now I'm looking at a spaceship from above. I'm fine with that. And then I can also, like this is cool. Like I'm just gonna do this here and here as well. So we have these 2 things. Don't forget the thickness. and it can have sort of the wing span. No, actually I don't like the wing like that, but I do like it like this. Sort of looks a bit silly, but I don't mind. And then from there you can get inspired also by other things. Like I can take inspiration from here and just sort of take the joints, then make sure to take this part. Like it can be some sort of heavy duty flyer. So at least this is how my brain works when I see something. Make sure to give it some more thickness because we need more of that. This can be just the cockpit. And from here you can go in many different directions. Once you have this, obviously you can turn it around and rotate it and everything. So this is what I do when I want to draw something. This is not really nicely in perspective. So if I want to put it in perspective, I just make sure to sort of mirror the distances, right? There we go. That's a bit better. I'm watching a stream on a channel called Chroma Mama. Oh yeah, I follow Chroma Mama. I love Chroma Mama. Totally the style that I love. I asked him, I've been drawing robots for fun days. I want to do it ink. Do you have advice on drawing with ink pen? Guess his response. just do it, I guess. His response was just do it. I mean, that's the best response I could come up with. Mohammed, wie geht's? Geht gut, Mann. Wie geht's mit dir? Alles cool? I'm not gonna switch to German now. But yeah, okay, let me not continue that. I think Trump is almost done. I drew on the wrong layer. Of course I did. Merge down and then move everything a little bit away. Okay, so I can maybe add. So Trump, I zoom out and I see that there's much more darkness. I like to zoom out, maybe squint my eyes a little bit, and then if I look at him, like this area, maybe a bigger one. So this area here can be much darker, this area could be a little bit darker, and maybe also this area. So I tend to be afraid a little bit of going dark, so I like to just check myself every now and then. Oh, wrong layer. Here we go, this is the correct layer. Yeah, he draw ink, exactly. So the thing is, right, if you draw with ink pen or if you draw with a fine liner, is that two things happen usually. You either get more comfortable with making mistakes, and you also can develop a bit of a looser style, or preferably, what I don't have yet either, you start thinking a little bit more about what you're doing. And that's gonna be really good, because then you have a better view in your head of what's going to happen, and that's a really good. Oh man, what's the word? Habit? It's a good thing to have. Why don't I have water here? Oh, I have Coke. Thank God. And sketching is all about practice. Salut, Shevan, salut. Bine venit, șeful. I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, I've been actually doing some, okay, let me go to a different brush. I've been doing some 3D studying lately, so I haven't sketched so much the last couple of days. So I thought this is perfect actually tonight. Catching up with you guys, doing also a little bit of robot or whatever sketching. Actually, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a little bit of non-robot related organic stuff. But then I got started with robots and I guess that just fell away. Zoom out again. Okay, I feel like I can bring more of this here as well. I can bring a bit more of this dark. Just smear it around a bit. C8 for the legs. The legs can be quite a bit darker. Are you still drunk? No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not drunk. Yesterday was fun though. I was a bit on the happier side, I would say, and I was still doing the Blender study for myself. I do like that belly now. I just want to smear this a little bit more. Okay, but I think this is good for now. I do want to do a organic study. So where is my, there we go. So let's just go back to Blender and let's look at some organic shapes, which are humans, I guess. Or we could try an animal. Cow? I don't know why a cow. Is cow interesting? No, something cuter. Goat. Let's try a goat. I don't think I ever drew a goat. No, I did a machine goat. Machine gun goat. Side question. Please, how the hell did you learn German? I'm losing my mind in learning it. If I tell you, you're not gonna believe it. Okay, this one is cute and seems hard to draw. Copy image. So, back in the good old days of communism, we didn't have cable TV. So this was right after the fall of communism. And we didn't have cable TV, as I said, and one of our neighbors got himself a satellite dish, and everybody connected to him. Well, let me draw this out. Why not? So we were living in this apartment block, and our neighbor was in this apartment block, and he had a satellite dish. And everybody technically just connected to him. So everybody just pulled the cable and got connected. This was in 1991, back in those days. And the best television show back then was Pro 7, which I don't remember the logo of, but that was a German television channel. And nobody spoke German because we're living in Romania, but everybody loved action movies, and Pro 7 had a lot of good action movies. But then, sort of in the weekend, if we have a calendar here, in the weekend there was from 8 to 12, I think, Saturday and Sunday, there were cartoons all the time. So what I was doing, you guys probably, because you're too young and you don't know these devices, but we had one of these, which is called an old school motherfucking television. Something like this, like really heavy set wooden television, and then I was sitting there like a little retard every Saturday and Sunday morning for 4 hours or more, or waking up my parents and watching television cartoons in German. And I think I was 5, 6, yeah, something like that, 5 to 7, because at 7 I started going to school, and by the time I was 8 years old I was speaking fluent German. It wasn't fantastically good, but it was fluent German. I understood everything just because I was watching cartoons all the time. So that's how I learned to speak German. And also, like video games, the same thing. It's just it was later, and switched the old ass TV for a computer, because I was playing video games and I needed to speak English to understand them. Okay, so let's do this thing. Okay, let me bring down opacity. So what I'm thinking when I see something like this, I simplify. So I simplify into, we have a cylinder for the body, something like this. Then you have a cylinder here for the neck. Well, technically you have several cylinders. Let me do it correctly. Because I see one cylinder here, and then we have one cylinder is turning towards us. Like if you don't do it in 3D, it's hard to explain. So this is turning a little bit more towards us, and then we have the head. I'm going to do the head in a little while. And then these are obviously also cylinders. These legs look janky as hell, Jesus. And then we have the bigger cylinders here. Oh man, I'm not a fan of animals. Okay, I'm gonna put this one here, right? And the head, well, that's also interesting, because if I break it down, we have sort of something like a cube like that, and then we have this sort of shape here, but we also have sort of a shape like this here. And then you can just connect it like that. So this is what I sort of see from the head. And then I try to build on that one. It was leeching off our neighbor's Wi-Fi. Yeah, but we were paying him. So we did pay him a small amount of money. Not a lot, but a small amount, okay? Draw a dynamic figure. Okay, let me finish this goat and then we'll do a dynamic figure afterwards. Okay, let me come back to our goat. Actually, let me just copy this, because it's gonna be easier if I just overlay it somewhere around here. Okay, so let's say I bring this one down now, and I try to fill in what I see here, right? So it has sort of a bigger, new layer. It has sort of a belly here. Oh, music is gone. Wait, let us play it some more. The best storyteller. Thanks. Well, I don't know if I'm the best storyteller, but thank you very much. I'll take that compliment. So we have the nice big belly here. We have this sort of, obviously this is a meatier area, right? So you have more muscle there. And here I didn't draw it, but there's like this sort of muscle here as well. Oh, that's not an eraser. So the harder, I'm not good at the harder things, so I'm not going to talk about it for now. We'll get back to that later. So I'm also just following the lines right now, as much as I can. So we have this, well, so that's why good to do studies, because I think animal legs in general are like 1, 2, 3, right? Like this is something like an animal leg. So that's what we're going to see here as well. So this is this area, and then the 2 is basically the cylinder that we drew here earlier, and then he has this super jank. Oh, rest break again. Oh, so sad. I have to move myself. Okay, I can read what you guys say. Janky, is it a technical? No, it's not a technical term. It's not technical. It's just. He looks wobbly. He looks not that strong on his legs. So now I'm not gonna take a break now for 3 minutes, but a little bit I do need to move myself. Play music, Liggy copyright. The music I'm playing is copyright free, so it's fine. Okay, let's skip this now. But then we have the back leg here, and I still like to put in the cylinder. Well, what is it? Ellipsis, because it just helps you ground it a little bit. Let me take those away, bring them back. Then you have a little bit of this furry thing here. I go to the back legs. So we have the cylinder here, if I see that correctly. This goes under this area. Then the cylinder comes, well, leg cylinder, whatever you want to call it. This is the second one, and then this is where we have the hooves. And technically hooves are like, so what I see here in my head, right? Presuming we're gonna have these two cylinders. And it's a little bit tapered, right? So, I don't know, if you look from the side, it's gonna be two cylinders, one here and one here, something like that. But I always think in these general shapes, and then obviously you need to cut in there. So that's what I see there, and that's what I try to draw here as well. And then also you have a little bit of this hairiness, and then this leg just disappears. That's just a silly leg. Don't even know what is doing there. And then a bit more fur here. This is going to be one ugly poor goatling there. And then I can get started on the face. And then you can also, because it's rounded, you can put sort of a sphere into that cube that you have there. But I still think it's going to be better if the nose. This is gonna be ugly, guys. I'm preparing you for it. No, I'm fixing the mouth. I really don't like it. All right, goes up. So this is lower, I feel like. Just try to keep these in mind. Somewhere here is where the eye is, and then the ear is here, and then this goes up there. But the rest is okay. I'm fine with the rest. Any thoughts on Gravity Sketch? Gravity Sketch is VR, no? I have not, if that is what I think it is, then sadly I had not the chance to try it out yet. I do have a friend who does VR sketching, and I do want to shamelessly invite myself over to his place so I can try it out. But with the whole being locked in our houses situation, I didn't want to push myself on him. Okay, let's make it. What I like to do is always just fill in the big ass eyes, because then you have something that already attracts the eyes while you're still drawing. I feel like that head is way too big. Well, it's okay, the body is a bit too small. The head was okay. The head was okay. There we go. The head was okay. Yeah, and then we had a tail here. So this is the cylinder, right? So this is the neck area that comes up there, a bit more there. And then this is the joint, comes down there. And that hoof, something like this. And then this I can erase, I don't really need it anymore. See what I mean? Like these legs, it looks almost like a young kid who's wearing, okay, wrong layer. A young kid who's wearing stilettos or high heels for the first time. Like a child who's trying on their mother's high heels. It just looks wonky. Janky, wonky, whatever you want to call it. And he has this cute white mouth area. Obviously we can, these helping lines you can erase. And make sure to fill in the ear properly. And also this back leg I didn't really finish, but I'm getting bored. Anyways, I'm not doing a study, I'm just trying to show you guys how I use the basic shapes for doing organic shapes as well. Fleece, yes, fleece, you're right. Even though it looks like fur to me, but yeah, I take your word on it. I'm not a goat expert, and also not an English-speaking expert. So I definitely think that the fleece does sound much better. Bro, not gonna welcome me? I don't know who you are, Santosh. It's a cursed goat, probably. Yeah. Okay, let me do a dynamic figure. Let's come here. Oh no! Why did you go over there? Why are you not here? Dynamic figure poses. There we go. I would say let's go with the first one. Looks pretty good. Copy image. Let's move our goat. Paste it in there. Okay. Move our goat some more. So yeah, depending what you're doing, it can be several approaches. So you can really go with just trying to capture that really dynamic pose, and work from there on. So like I feel like something like this. These are the power, like especially this is the power line that we're going to work with. But let me erase this a little bit, just so we don't have too many lines. Okay, so this is the power line. And what I need to do now is just to nicely construct my person. So we have the upper body, which I'm going to put a box for here. Well, I guess the body starts somehow, or the chest starts here, right? This is what I see. So if I draw the chest here, right, into this box, then you have sort of a cylinder, or you can draw a box again for the hips, and then you sort of have, or the ribs. Okay, I like to draw ribs like this, especially if you draw them from the front, because you have this nice hole in it, which from the side would look something like this. And then here you have the belly, which in this case is quite empty area, and then the ribs here in the back, so because it's rounding. And this is underarm, so I would say something like this. Let me bring the whole thing away a little bit. Things with small noses look cute, and that's why anime characters don't have them. What? Draw sunglasses next, please. Sunglasses. We can try that. Okay, so obviously with anatomy there's a whole load of studying that needs to be done, because you need to know the human muscles. You need to understand how they work, which I'm absolutely not. Like usually this area I barely draw. So this muscle right here is quite new for me. Quite interesting to see that so prominent. But I do like the arm muscles, because I know that this is where we have the elbow, and I think is this pectoral muscle? I'm not sure it's called. The triceps, Jesus Christ, of course. And then with the foreshortening here, you can see the roundness of the forearm, and then he's holding the spear there. So I mean, generally, obviously, I'm going to simplify as much as I can. Yes. Let us take the break. So this is the chest. Okay, I'm getting too much into it. I need to take the break. 3 a.m. here, but I will be awake for the Sunday. Okay, what is it? It's 7 p.m. I'll finish this guy and then I'll do the sunglasses and that will be the end then. I don't want to make him muscular because I'm not good at making him muscular. I'm not an expert when it comes to anatomy. Okay, so like this would be, I added a bit more of chest muscle to him. And also this, I want to take away a little bit here. Oh, what was that? And then you have, okay, zoom out, legs. So one leg goes here. You can see like, this is really cool. This is a really nice pose to study, I must say. And then we have the buttocks here. And then the other legs, or other leg comes up. Like I usually always draw, because the shin bone is quite straight, but you do have a little bit of extra meat or muscle around it. And then the back part of the leg is always nicely tapered. And then we also have the foot, which is a really nice sort of triangle in this case. Something like that. And I just want to bring those muscles a little bit higher in this case. And so like remember, like I do keep these cylinders in mind when I draw this. So like always have that in mind here as well. So this comes down until there, something like this. So first I just lay down the cylinder. I know that this comes like something like this, but I also know that if this would be the base cylinder, then I sort of have this inner thigh muscle and also this like upper one. And then I make those a little bit stronger. And then just the black underpants that the gentleman here is wearing. And it's wrapping around, so you can see like this goes around quite a bit. Let me make it a bit black. There we go. Zoom out. Then here we have the joint, and I like the knees and elbows because they're really nice and sharp. Then we have the shin bone again, which is nice and angled. You have this, I feel like I really should learn some more muscle terms. There we go. Like let's also keep the thing like distances, so sort of my ankle, not ankle, heel. Yeah, there we go. I had to touch the ground with my heel to remember the name heel. I am silly. I still have something to drink here. That's right, and that's good. Okay, so here we have the heel, and that's the leg. And I'm pretty sure this is a bit too long. And also it should be a bit more. So let us use the digital assets we have, twist it a bit and bring it a bit higher. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Then this arm obviously goes, so this is where the elbow is, somewhere here. And then it goes somewhere there. Once again, upper arm just like leg. One area is quite nice and flat, the other area has this nice muscle to it. And then we have the arm, and then if that's the arm, this needs to be either a bit angled differently, or this needs to be made a bit smaller, like that. And then this feels better. We have this nice pouch. So for hands, what I like to do is I draw the surfaces. So I don't worry about the fingers that much. I don't know if you can see the camera. So I take this is a surface, this is a surface, these are a surface, and then of course this is a surface. So when I'm drawing here, I just have the two I'm drawing basically this and this as a surface. And then later on you can just draw in the lines for the fingers. But since we're zoomed out anyways, it doesn't matter so much. And I don't worry about this area too much because it's not really visible, because the gentleman's head is here. And the head is sort of... I always make heads too big when I draw. So let us try and not make his head too big. This is the ear. He's pulling his whole head a bit back. And that's the hair, so I have to make sure that something like here. Okay, and I don't care. Okay, I can bring it a little bit closer actually. I don't care about likeness here that much, but I do want to capture where the things are, the geometry of the face, right? So, jawline, ear, then the eye is here. It sort of looks down, and the eye is really up, the eyebrow, because he's looking down. Then the nose is there. So the head is a little bit tilted towards us. Oh, this ear is a little bit too big, I feel like. There we go. He has a funky little goatee there. There we go. Then this is the other eyebrow there. And then this comes back here. I can cut this a little bit. So what I do for heads is usually, if this is the head, you have sort of, so this is what I do for heads. So you have the ear, jawbone, this goes a little bit up there, down here, and then you have nose. Like this is what I try to look for when I draw a head. Okay, that can go away. And there's also a lot of interesting muscles that are happening. Like usually these jaw muscles, you don't see them. And then here comes the hand, or the arm, sorry. And then the neck muscles are nicely visible. And let me just blacken those lines. There we go. Oh, okay, I can put in a little bit the lines for the stick that he's holding. Did I miss? Okay, that's it. I'm only good at making the muscular because I learned to draw from comic book. Same here, man. Same here. that's where I learned muscles. Do you know anything about graphic design, illustration drawing? No, I suck at graphic design. And actually I know a lot of people who are good at drawing, but are really bad in graphic design. Many of my friends. It's two very different disciplines, drawing and graphic design. And just because you're good at drawing doesn't mean that you're going to be good at graphic design. I struggle a lot for when I finish a work for my clients, making sure that also from a graphic design point of view it looks good. The comic art is the best, yeah, I agree. No, you can't learn muscles from Goku. Like, don't do that, please. Jesus, Lord mercy. Do not learn muscles from Goku. Don't do that. Yeah, Proco is the way to go. Okay, I guess sunglasses then. Also, hello, new people, if you just arrived. Sunglasses. Do we have a favorite brand? I'm just gonna look for sunglasses that we like. Okay, I guess something like this guy has here. Okay, so sunglasses, they go a little bit round. something like that. And then you have, okay, let me move this a little bit. Also, I can make it smaller. You don't need to have it that big. Matsuda sunglasses, alright. Matsuda sunglasses, let's see what the hell that is. Sun. Alright. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's ugly. Sorry, I'm not a sunglasses person. Since I have to wear glasses non-stop, I'm not the biggest fan of sunglasses. Okay, like this top one I sort of like. I'll do a copy image. Okay. Let me cut everything else away. We'll just keep this top one. There we go. Oh, another break. Jesus, so many breaks. 1:47 a.m. in India. It is 9:18 p.m. in Amsterdam. Draw them on the go. Yeah, I will draw them on the goat after this. I just want to quickly familiarize myself with them. Okay, so the thing is here that goes on the ears. I'm just gonna close it there and like that. Okay, so let's split this up. Maybe a little. This is the center line, and this is the split. Okay, and then we have. So what I'm looking for now, if I would put this into a box, then this is the center. Then I try to look. Okay, from here to here, I have sort of a curve. So I said from here to sort of here, right? So I try to get that curve right. Same on the other side. So from here to here, you sort of, I'm trying to get the same curve. Then from here it comes down somewhere there, and then here we have sort of a rounded, and then it goes back up there. So this goes like this, we have a nice rounded area, and this is sort of flat. So as you can, I cut it like this, 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 and this. And I just try to recreate these curves within perspective of this box that I drew here. So now all I need to do is just clean up my lines a little bit and not necessarily erase them and redraw them. I'm just gonna draw over them and make sure to make these curves a little bit sexier. And obviously then you can bring in the thickness, and then you look at where it's thicker and thinner. This area is thicker, this should be thinner. So I will give me an undo, something like this, here as well. And then here I can make it a bit thicker, something like this. And now I'll just repeat this on the other side. So we have this curve here, we have this curve here, you have this nicely rounded area, which wasn't nice at all. Okay, there we go. And I give them a, so now you can draw it a little bit thicker in my opinion, because here, this almost looks a little bit concave, and I want it to be all convex. Something like this. There you go. And this here becomes a little bit thinner, but you can add the thickness on the inside, which I don't know if it's visible because, let's say if it's like really dark shades, you can't see through them. Let's see what else we have here. I'm designing a sunglass for a company. Once they get produced, I will send them to you definitely. Oh, thanks you, man. That's awesome. I'm not good at designing sunglasses. It's not something I'm good at. Okay, so we have this bridge here, right? So let me clean the erase there a little bit. So the bridge is somewhere here. Yeah, it's sort of in perspective, I'm fine with that. And now all we need is sort of, I don't know what it is called, but either way you have this area here. And the thing is, usually these are a little bit bent. So if you look at sunglasses from the top, so this is 1, 2, this is the bridge, they go a little bit like this. And then here even more. So if this is what you look from above. So to help with that, what you can do is just create that box again. I need to bring this a little bit lower. And you can say, okay, so I want it to curve a little bit there. And here I want it to curve a little bit there. And you know that that's going to be your main line. So, oh, give me this nice curve here, curve there. And here as well, and just there a little bit. Rotate it back. And then from here, technically again, as you can see here, so if we don't look at the front of the glasses, only at the back, see this and this is where the ear, behind ear thing is sort of touch. So if I now, from this point, draw another box here, I know that somewhere here and here is where my after ear thing should touch the ground. So I do that, and here I do this. And they become obviously a bit thicker. And then I make this a bit nicer. Give it a nicer curve. There we go. And now just curve it down here. And here it's already curved nicely for me. You can make sure to emphasize the underside a little bit. And then you can just add a little bit of cheatiness. You can make the outlines a bit thicker, is what I always like to do. If you want to do it cartoony, it can become a bit even more cartoony, but it just pops nicely if you make those outlines a bit thicker. And I like to rotate a lot. I know it's annoying to watch when somebody rotates the canvas, but I just trained my arm to draw somewhat nicer lines in a specific direction. So I always make sure to align my canvas in a way that is going to be comfortable for me. There we go. This underline of the bridge can be a bit darker. Obviously you can also, like, because these two things here, I didn't draw them on, so those can be drawn in as well. So one will be here, the other here. And they're sort of like this, right? Goes on the nose bridge to keep up. I think I made them a bit too small. Technically they should be a little bit bigger, something like that, I guess. That's too big, but I don't care anymore. Okay, now let's put sunglasses on the goat, just for fun, and then we call this thing. Okay, wait, I need to catch up. You guys talk, no, you don't pay attention. Next time you need to teach me how to do shadow, so Manu will get off my back. We will get Manu off your back. When will you color the goat? Maybe next time? Probably not today. Earth is Gola. I don't know what that means. If you don't mind, what is the name of this song? The lady singing? I can take it back and look. Oh no, because it's on. Pause. Let's see. Okay, so it's 16 by branches. There we go. Okay, goat glasses. So, as I said, you have to sort of get the perspective right. So this is the box, and then, oh no, actually, the box is correct, but we need to make it a little bit taller, somewhere here, so it can reach behind the ears of the goat. Something like that. Okay. So we could do aviators. Something like that. It's funny because the goat's eyes are more towards the side, so it won't really take advantage of these aviators, but like whatever. Okay, nicely rounded out. Behind the ears. Behind the ears. Actually, I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna quickly render out these ridiculous glasses. This is very stupid looking because also it's like smaller resolution, so I don't care about... Yeah, we're not taking a break now anymore. Go away. Okay, I'm taking a quick break. Oh. Would you try automotive related stuff next time? Yeah, sure. I mean, but in general, I draw automotive, robots, spaceships, cars. So that's why I wanted to step away and talk about stuff that I usually don't talk about. Namely stuff like this. Which, I don't know, I don't think I ever talked about sunglasses. Let's take a soft brush, make it smaller. Something like that. Okay, now we have a nice fade to them. And what you can also do is go to an eraser, which is a bit softer, make it smaller. No, I want less. Oh, this is too harsh, isn't it? No, this is good. Bigger. I like adding this effect. Okay. Merge down. Now you can actually come in with the same sketch pencil that I used before, but I'm gonna use a white outline. Actually, I'm gonna take the standard one, just to add it a bit of shine. This is overkill, like nobody needs to do all these things, but I'm just having fun now. There we go. Now isn't that a cool little goat? The app is called Workrave. Break app Workrave. Or yeah. All right. That's it for this week. Hope you guys had a good time. Cursed goat with glasses. Yes, it is a cursed goat with glasses. I hope you did learn something. We drew a lot of things. We also drew Mr. Trump here. So yeah, it was a successful stream. I hope you all had a good time. And see you guys Thursday. We're having another live stream. So if you want to come back, Thursday. Bye bye everyone.